Hello and welcome everyone to another video on my channel. Today we are talking about the banned and restricted list, and I will focus here only on standard since I basically just do standard right now and sometimes something else. But yeah, we got 3 cards banned, and to no surprise Vivi was banned. Yeah, Vivi definitely dominated best of 3 scene. It made standard definitely not a favorite format for many people, so Vivi had to go. We also were right that Prof Edict Memory will go because this card enables too many decks, but I think if you ban profs you also have to ban other cards, and I will talk about this. And we also got Screaming Nemesis to target one of the other strong decks, which was Mono Red. So we had Mono Red, Vivi, basically the 2 top decks, and then we had Dimir. Maybe these 3 decks, but definitely Vivi on the top and the other 2 under it. And we only have these 3 bans. And what we can say is, what happened with Kona? What happened with Dimir? So now we have 2 deck lists that are not touched, and one is a combo deck that is really hard to play against, and one is a tempo deck. So I do think in the current meta there is no way to play blue-white control or any type of control like this because Kona will shred it, Dimir will shred it. So you already have 2 decks you cannot really play against, so that is gone, right? So many people are maybe happy about this, that these type of control are gone, at least blue-white control. So in best of 3, we need to have a sideboard to deal with Kona and Dimir. That's the only way to navigate it, or you play the deck, right? Then in best of 1, we do have one problem. We don't have that sideboard. And how do we navigate then? So we need decks that have cards in the main board to deal with Kona. We also have another combo deck in Cavero. So we have 2 combo decks we have to take care of, otherwise we just lose the game. Of course we can try to tune a deck to win the game fast enough, which is fine, so I still think Boros Burn is viable. Sorry, but a bit different since we lost Nemesis. Losing Nemesis technically gives you the chance to play life gain, but I'm not sure if life gain is good enough because the combo decks will just win there. They will just win, and that's why life gain, yeah, banning Nemesis, sure, didn't really enable life gain, but maybe you could play Orzhov life gain. So I prepared some lists here, and I want to show what I think about the meta and how it is like positioned right now. Luckily we get a new set. There are some good cards. I'm not sure how much it shakes up the meta. I do believe Kona is the best deck by far. It's really frustrating for many people, I guess. You will have to deal with this, and I will talk about how we will deal with this. So let's have a look at the current meta, and we're gonna have a look here in Arena. So this is the Simic combo, right? We have Kona here, and with the mace to protect the Kona with hexproof. We do have a lot of bounces in this type of deck, we do have counters in this type of deck, and we can choose a win con like Battleship. This is really hard to deal with. Really hard to deal with. So the only way to win against this is if you have a card that goes through the mace to kill Kona. But then, if the opponent knows that, they will just keep mana up to have a counter, right? So you need a deck that's fast and have an answer for Kona. These are the only 2 ways. So if you would think this is one of the best deck, which I think is a tier 1 deck, you would have to play something like, for example, Dimir Midrange. And Dimir Midrange right now you would play Nowhere to Run, because this card here is really good against Kona. It's -3/-3, and also it negates hexproof. So having this card helps you to go around the mace. So you want to have something like this. Also you have black, which allows you to have Strategic Betrayal, and you would up the count of Tishana's Tidebinder right now in this meta, because there's another way to deal with Kona if you do not have Nowhere to Run. So you would have potentially 6 cards to deal with Kona, which is really good, and you also can run some counters here if you have the battle of trying to deal with Kona, counter, and so on. On top of that, you have 7 1-drops to pressure opponents, so Dimir midrange, definitely really good positioned. You have Kaito, of course, as well, really strong as well. So this is definitely one of the decks that benefited quite a lot, and we have to play Nowhere to Run, Tidebinder, and Betrayal. I cannot see many decks beating this one. I just want to showcase this shortly here. Then let's have a look at some other decks, like for example we had Boros Burn here, which lost Nemesis because of the Dimir list, I do think Nova Hellcat will be quite nice to deal with this flyer. How do we replace the cards here, right? I don't think this type of deck will be around that much, so I think only 2 Sheltered is fine. And we try to be fast, really fast. So we want to run Slick Shot. Most of the decks run it. We want to run the Razor, Needlehead just to have reach. And we run more burn spells. We don't need a Braid right now. We're going to run 4 Lightning Strike and 4 Helix to have a way to deal with Kona. But once the mace is up, we do have a problem. So this will give us the needed reach. And we do want to have 6 1-drops. You can run 8 1-drops and even cut a Shelter by Ghost if we feel like that's the way. So Boros Burn you can play this way, but you need to have a lot of burn spells. More burn spells than before. This is the only way I see this type of deck run right now, because these cards are not affected by the burns by the bounce effects from Kona, for example. So I would run it like this. Let's have a look at another list here. And this list was around for a while. We have oh, it's not here. We have Jeskai artifacts. So the problem with Jeskai artifacts is, let's say there's combo round. The only way to play this is to have a way against combo. So you have Rest in Peace here, which deals with the graveyard, and you can find Rest in Peace with the Battlefront. That is one way to do it. And you need a way to deal with Kona. And the only way is technically counter, but you cannot counter it because they play the land that makes Kona uncounterable. So you would have to play Detect Intrusion here, which is the only way to deal with it. So you can counter the trigger ability, and then after that you can maybe board wipe, you can use Snare, you can do something. But you need a card like this, otherwise you cannot play this deck. Because this deck tends to be quite good against aggro, there's not too much aggro, so you can definitely only run 3 Star Cages. But if people tend to go more aggressive to defeat that Kona list, then you can definitely up here as well. But I'm just saying, Rest in Peace and Intrusion for the 2 combo decks are quite important, and we run one of Day of Judgment here as well. They have a fixed board wipe, because Star Cage also doesn't hit Kona. So this is how I'll play against, in the current meta right now with Jeskai artifacts. Then, one of the decks I made a video just recently was Orzhov Aura. Aura is definitely a really fast deck, and you want to have the fastest Aura version possible. With this type of deck, you saw what you can have in turn 2. You can have a 5/5 Scavenger and a 3/2 Hex Mage turn 2. You play the Scavenger, then you play the Hex Mage, put the Aura on the Scavenger, armor, and you have a 5/5 3/2, which is really fast. On top of that, you do have nowhere to run to deal with Kona as well. And you do have Thrall, which is quite strong as well, because it stops some enter abilities like dragons or like against the artifact death it comes. So Thrall is really good. You could technically think cutting some Sheltered as well, but this list I think just got stronger. I think right now this is definitely a list you can play if you want to play aggressive in an Aura meta, in this new meta with Aura decks. So yeah, I put the link in the video description down below. We do have, like I mentioned, maybe Orzhov Lifegain back. Orzhov Lifegain has the advantage of having access to Nowhere to Run and Strategic Betrayal, again for the combo decks. We have some reach, some long game with Lunar Convocation, which is quite nice. The deck can be really fast because you have Amalia, Channeler, Pridemate, and these cards can grow really fast, really fast. This is probably not the perfect list. You maybe don't even need Innocence here. I just put it here. But you have really strong cards to get a lot of life to go around Nemesis. But the combo decks, they don't care about life. So I'm not too sure yet. But if you want to play it, Nowhere to Run, Betrayal, you need it. It is really quite hard to say what else is there, right? But of course, you can also play Band Kona, which I made a video about, just to showcase how stupid the meta can be right now. There are other decks that you can play as well, but I just wanted to make a short overview what I think is going to happen. I know this is day one, so usually you want to have a fast deck, you want to have counters, you want to have ways to deal with the combos. So Simic also could be played still. As you all know, Simic is a really strong deck. Where is my Simic list right now? Where is my Simic list? Simic is definitely something that works also because you do have access to many cards, right? That work right there. And I'm kind of confused where my Simic list is now. It's basically... did I miss right now? the Drunev list can go super wide and super fast, and yeah. For example, the artifact list I made a video about. We have Intrusion to deal with certain combo pieces, but this is a type of deck that it tries to go really fast, really fast. So yeah, this works. So you have to find a way to be faster than the Kona list, but it's quite hard because of the bounces. And you have to have a list that is able to keep up with Dimir, and fast lists are usually quite good there, especially a list like this. So for me, right now, it is beat Kona or lose the game. So that's best of 1. Best of 3, you do have, of course, advantage with the sideboard there. Just literally build the sideboard around it. But so do they. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating to me, personally, right now. I did like to play this deck. But I do think the deck is too strong. And I just wanted to make a short video for you all to see that I think this probably gonna be the most played deck, and we need to find ways. I have some other lists. I can also talk about them here, but I do want to make the videos about them just to showcase that there's also some brews we can play, and don't want to just put all out there, but this is definitely the meta, and I will update the people in my Discord about the lists, of course. But this is my take on what happened with the bans, and I do believe that this is the strongest list out there right now. It's defeat this deck or just lose. So what do you think about my take? What do you think will happen to Standard right now in best of 1 and best of 3? Do you think there should have been a ban here with this type of deck? I do believe so. I honestly do believe there should be a ban here. And maybe we're gonna see a ban later on, because I think Avatar will not be strong enough to keep up with this type of deck. So let's see what's happened. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I wish you all a good day, good night, wherever you are. See you all next time.